Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you and peace out to the rest of you. The blackest hearted, blackest minded, blackest man on social media signing blacking and shining again, asking you to hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. We saw the video in which that nice to look at lady sat up there on Kevin Samuels and told the story about how she cheated on her boyfriend and first baby daddy multiple times, and she couldn't tolerate it when he cheated once. And then she turned around, left him, and then got with his play cousin to get back at him. But she didn't say it was to get back at him. She buried the malice of all of this by saying, well, I knew him first. He introduced us. That's why I didn't really think much about it. And then, in 2 sentences within a short time of each other, she said, well, this was out of spite. Then she said it wasn't out of spite because I wasn't thinking about him. I'd already broken up with him. Meaning the baby daddy, the first baby daddy. You all heard it, and I know that this is not every woman. And so I know a lot of women are going to come to me and they're going to say, well, Black Mind, you act like this is every single woman. And the thing is, it's not that it's every single woman, but ladies, although I rarely address you, I'm going to say this to you. Just like you're only interested in a small percentage of men, but you get approached and offers and stares and everything else from many, from a wide variety in whom you're not interested. It's the same thing with us men. Every woman ain't like this woman, but every last one of us can easily wind up with someone like her even when we're careful to avoid them, let alone when we don't know what's out there and we just get with the first attractive woman that shows interest. That's what we're dealing with. That's that hyper availability of bad options. Women like her may not even be 30%. They're so available that 90% of men could wind up with them or nobody at all. Now, she ducked and dodged accountability, and the narcissism with which Mr. Samuels diagnosed her, if you really want to call it a diagnosis, is going to lead me into the second half of this, because I'm covering 2 topics in this recording, Lord willing. The question is, why does she have the opportunity? And Fresh and Fit Podcast has talked about men needing to have an abundance mindset, and you need more girls. And the thing is, they're saying spin plates, but most men aren't even going to get a text back. So I don't know where they get this from. And I'm not knocking them per se. But the abundance mindset is something that men are already going to have if they're experiencing abundance. And most men are never going to experience, and therefore a mindset they're just never going to be able to have. It's just not possible. I can't have an abundance mindset towards money. There's no abundance of money. I've never had an abundance of money in my life except for a 14-month, actually an 11-month stretch of my adult life. In all of my adult life, I've had an abundance of money for 11 months. And I'm in my middle 40s now. Don't know what that's like. Because that 11 months was not enough to knock a dent into the overall experience. So, it's just not there. So an abundance mindset is only something you can attain by either experiencing an abundance, or actually that's the only way you can have an abundance mindset. But you can experience a lack of tension by learning to not care. And naturally, neither men nor women are wired to not care about each other completely. Women are just wired to not care about men as people, that's all. I shouldn't even say they're wired to. I don't know how much of that is wiring. But women do care about men. I mean, to a certain extent. Most of them are heterosexual. We see how they act when you lock them in a prison. It's not much different than how men act. Actually, I would venture that it's actually more women that get involved with other women in prison than there are dudes that get involved with dudes in prison. I can't wait till that statistic comes out. So in any case, the other thing is that men can fast, and I mentioned this before. And that does lower the libido. And then when men have mastered fasting to lower the libido, then they quit caring. And at that point, you don't necessarily have an abundance mindset. You just come to understand that even if these women are rare, so what if you never find one? It's still not completely natural, but it's tolerable. It's easily doable. And considering the small chance that any man has, even the best man in the world has, of finding a good woman, it then just begins to make more sense to stay alone. Now, this lady, I want y'all to notice, is an example of somebody that is at war with us. Is not really trying to say they're at war, but she knows she's at war with us. How do you know that she knows, even though she's trying to hide it? And that is very simple. Look at the choice she made. I cheat, but the minute you do, I'm going to do even worse. I'm going to cheat even worse. I'm never going to learn my lesson and stop cheating. I can't do that. I can't respect you if you let me cheat and don't retaliate, but I can't learn my lesson if you retaliate and teach me the lesson. I just can't learn the lesson. Now, if somebody cannot teach you a lesson to stop effing with them, the reason for that is only going to be because they feel they are naturally superior to you. That's why white folk can't learn. They can't learn to leave other minorities alone. They can't grasp the concept that, I shouldn't even say other minorities, but they can't grasp the concept that non-whites are their equals. They can't see that. I'm talking about the white supremacists. It's not something that they're capable of learning. And the far right, which is oftentimes the most against government intervention, but also the most in favor of law and order, that far right are the ones that really can't learn. It's okay for them to fight back against the government, but it's not okay for you to fight back against the government, Negro. They can't learn that you're fighting back against the government is actually more justified than their rebelling against or defying the government. We're not going to wear a mask. I guarantee you, if black people have been the first ones to say no mask, they would have said, these N-words are trying to kill us all. But I digress. She's at war. Just like these white supremacists, she can't see that anybody is a moral equal. Therefore, she can't learn that it's wrong to do certain things to these other creatures. And you saw she wasn't dodging accountability with Kevin Samuels. She really can't assess accountability. That's for others, not her. Something wrong with her. Whether it's narcissism or psychopathy, whatever the case is, something's wrong with her. She's at war with you, and she knows she's at war because she is aware that she feels it's okay for her to cheat on the man, but not okay for the man to cheat on her and get back at her. That's not subconscious. She's conscious of that. Gentlemen, a lot of these ladies, as they get older and they hit the wall and they go past the wall, they're not shaping up and wising up. A lot of them are actually becoming more stubborn in their antipathy against you. A lot of them are actually more adamant about fighting against you. Keep that in mind. They are not playing games. Quite a few of them. Been around the block, they're getting a few wrinkles, gray hairs, starting to look like MILFs, and they're aware of what they've done and how wrong they are, and they just say, well, that's just the way it is, because I'm not going to change. I wanted you to be aware of that. Next topic I wanted to talk about. It has to do with something that attorney Dennis Spurling posted where he said that we need to get rid of teachers' unions. I'm going to say that as a black male who was a teacher in the United States, we can't afford to get rid of teachers' unions. See, I taught in Georgia where they didn't have teachers' unions, and they probably still don't. Teachers could be completely unprotected, leave a school for their own safety, and then be sued for breach of contract. No representation for teachers. None. It wasn't there. And what this meant was they could put you in the absolute worst schools with the worst kids and then sue you because they wouldn't protect you, but then you stop coming to work because it's too dangerous. And then they just turn around and sue you and take back whatever they paid you plus some. I kid you not. They would do that. I saw it because I taught in Georgia. Now, I was never called back to the same teaching job anywhere in the United States. And now here I am in the Middle East teaching, doing a good job, being requested by name, and being hired with the same employer for 7.5 years. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you that when I did my job here, I could keep it. When I did my job in the States, whatever state it was, I could not keep it, even in the state with a teachers union. So what happens when you take away the teachers union? Well, which demographic of teacher do you think they want to give the worst kids? That's the black male teacher, the heterosexual, masculine acting black male teacher. Put him in a worst classroom. He can handle it. Like how? What are we allowed to do? Beat the kids? No. But how are we supposed to handle it? No one else can. We don't have any extra powers. We can't do anything different. And that's what's going on. We don't need to do away with teachers' unions. We need teachers' unions to only be allowed for black male teachers and whoever the hell else they approve of on an individual basis. So that means that if you're a black female teacher and you want to be part of the union, you got to go through some black males. They got to know you're sympathetic to the plight of black males. That's what we need. Now, that's not legal. That'll never fly, but that's what we need. The things America needs are the things that they've already banned and outlawed. It's just like the kids. The things the kids needs, the school boards have already banned and outlawed. No corporal punishment. Well, duh, now the kids know you don't have any corporal punishment. They're going to act a further-mucking fool because they know you can't really cause them any pain. They know this. If a kid is flipping the lights off and on, and he won't quit no matter how many times you tell him, he's not going to quit till you knock him unconscious. You can't do that. Nowadays, you knock him unconscious, he'll wake up, realize that he can sue you, and then go back to flipping the lights back on and back off because now he knows he can sue you. You got kids in middle school who already don't deserve to live. Sorry, Attorney Spurling. I'm not raising my voice because I hate you. It's not that. But I'm raising my voice only because I know how wrong that's going to be. Maybe white female teachers don't need unions. I don't think white people need any legal protection anymore. It's already ingrained in everyone's subconscious to the point I don't see why they need any legal protection from anything. But black male teachers definitely need teachers' unions. Hell, we need immunity. We shouldn't even have to be teachers. America doesn't deserve teachers. What America needs to do away with is schools. Or put the school boards in the classrooms. The superintendent, don't let him make any decisions till he's been in the classroom. Recently, the worst classroom. Because we got kids already in 7th grade who don't deserve to live. And I'm not saying all 7th graders. I'm saying the 7th grade is as young as you can go to find kids that are so bad they don't deserve to live. In my experience, the youngest they got was 7th grade. About 13. It's that bad. And having taught in Georgia and having taught on the Gulf Coast of the United States, I can tell you that them kids in the Atlanta area, them little wannabe cholos, were far worse than our kids that were growing up on the Gulf Coast. Far worse. All they do is manipulate the system. They manipulate their parents. They manipulate you at the school. That's all the hell they do, and they don't think that you're supposed to apply any consequences to them. A kid will steal all your teaching supplies, hide them in the bathroom, set your class back 3 days, and when you find the supplies hidden and you know who did it, no, don't write me up. I'll get deported to Mexico, and the cartels will kill me. That's what the hell we supposed to do, dummy. It's not so that the cartels will kill you. It's just even if the cartels will kill you, we supposed to write you up. You get deported, so what? Now, deportation is not something the school districts take part in. Trump would have loved that. But what I had to tell one student was, it don't make a difference to me if the cartels kill you. I don't give a rat's behind. Because you don't give a rat's behind about anybody else's education. You fight in class with teachers. You lie. You cover up for students that are your enemies as long as they do something wrong that sets the class back so you don't have to do any work. That's all the hell you do. And now you got caught on camera doing something and you want me to not write you up because your parents are going to send you back to your grandmother in Mexico? Boy, I hope you never come back to the U.S. I just feel sorry for Mexico. I'm writing you up. And if your parents don't send you back to your grandmother, I'm calling ICE on them. I had to tell this to a kid once. Had to terrorize the little father mucker. And his dad came back. Did you really mean what you said? Oh yeah. You send that boy back to his grandmother. I mean, he better be gone from my classroom by the end of the week. But what if we move to another school district? If I find out about it, I'm still gonna call ICE. Send that boy back to his grandmother, and I won't. You don't have to move. You can keep his baby sister here. You and your wife can stay here. Just send Junior back to his grandmom, cross the border in Mexico, and you can stay. Because I don't have nothing against you being here. I don't care if you snuck across the white man's border illegally or not. I don't think he has the right to claim a border. But if I got to use the system so that I can teach these other kids by getting rid of yours, I'm gonna do it. Because he's only one. Teachers were living a nightmare 10 years ago. I don't think it's any better. I left the United States 7.5, but I left teaching in these public school systems twice. 2011 and 2013 respectively. I'm telling you, I can't imagine it got any better because teachers ain't been saying nothing about how much better it's getting. So, no, we don't need to do away with teachers' unions or anything. Except maybe for non-black male teachers. No, we need some protections for black male teachers. Because they got to work the hardest, and they're the least likely to be called back to repeat a job unless it's a crap job. Because you got an entire culture in the United States that thinks that the black male teacher is the one you're supposed to get the worst kids to and then judge them like you judge any other teacher by how their kids are performing. They watch Lean On Me and they think that's what we all supposed to be. Joe Clark walked around the school with a bat and he broke school board rules. That's what he did. Stand and deliver. You know what? I don't really know how he got through to them. I don't care. But that started a genre of 1990s movies of teachers turning bad kids around, and now they're looking at us black men like we supposed to have some kind of magic in order to do that. No. Those kids understand one thing. What should happen is you bring corporal punishment back into the schools and you only allow black male teachers to administer it, regardless of the race of the student. You only allow black male teachers to administer corporal punishment. Because we can be fair and still be stern, but they want to tie our hands. And if a black male teacher decides, I want to collect the check and still not go into work, so Father Muck and what? We built the country for free anyway. And these are the things that are never gonna fly. America ain't gonna never do these things. So that's why it is that black men should become teachers in other countries. Oh, we're great teachers. Great dads too. great uncles. The ones that get the job done the best over here where I live and work are black teachers, female and male, from the West and from Africa. The best ones. But I'm going to tell y'all straight too. They're not teaching them the monsters you got over there in the United States. And these kids here, these better ones can be some monsters. But it ain't as bad as what you got over there. Over there, it's a nightmare, and it doesn't have a solution. Teachers have to take blood pressure medicine routinely. And God forbid the students know that you just trying to retire because you down to your last 2 years. Oh my God, they're going to cut a mother cuss word fool. They know that's what you're trying to do? It's like when you an inmate and you coming to the end of your sentence. And other inmates know it, and some of them in there for life. They ain't leaving without a tag on their toes. And they know you down to the end of your sentence, they're gonna be like, yeah, you going home, huh? And they start picking fights with you. You pretty much gotta request protective custody. Some of y'all been behind bars, and you know what that's like. You down at the end of your sentence, and you got some knucklehead ninjas. Some of them were your boys when you were looking at when you're still looking at most of your sentence in a long stretch, but you know now you down to the end of it. You almost home. And what they do? Man, we finna knuckle up on this dude. And what you gotta do then? You gotta go to one of the officers and say, look, I'm sick. I don't wanna make nobody else sick. Put me in PC. That's what you got to do. That's what you wind up having to do. Or you walk up to the guard and you just touch his badge and you say, does this count as assault? Man, I need to be locked up for a little bit. I mean, some guards actually will cover for you like that. Where's so-and-so at? Yeah, man, we put him in, yeah, he did something wrong, man. We had to lock him up. We had to put him in isolation. Or, yeah, we transferred him back to county to serve out the rest of it. He got to testify. Or he got another case back in county, so that's where he is. And if he beats it, he'll walk out of county. Something like that. Some guards will do that because they know how bad it is. Well, understand that it's like that all the time when you are a teacher. All the time. No, man, I'm sorry. What America needs is to lose all of the good teachers they got. Thanks for listening. Black heart, black mind, blackout, assalamu alaikum, and black heterosexual non-select male power just because they don't like it, and black patriarchy until extinction of judgment day.